Well, we are 1 week from Election Day. The stakes are certainly high. The question leading up to the big day, who will replace Jeff Flake for U.S. Senate? Yeah, the long build-up to see who will get that seat. Republican Martha McSally, of course, vying on the right, Democrat Kyrsten Sinema on the left, and the Green Party candidate Angela Green. Like Congresswoman McSally did weeks ago, Congresswoman Sinema joins us with ABC15's Justin Pazera to talk about the campaign. Justin, good morning to you.
Good morning, guys. We are here with Kyrsten Sinema. Thanks for joining us this morning. She's up bright and early. This girl has been going nonstop ahead of this ahead of this election. But I want to get right into it. You have been in politics for quite some time, local politics, U.S. representative. So I wanted to ask, who is Kyrsten Sinema today? We've heard a lot about your past. Yeah. Who are you today?
You know, everyone knows who I am because I've been lucky and privileged to serve Arizona for so many years in Congress and in the state legislature. And I'm a person who knows how to get things done. So I've been ranked the third most independent member of Congress because of my continuing willingness to reach across the aisle and get things done. And I'm really proud to be someone who's delivered results for Arizonans. What I think is interesting about right now is Arizonans are hungry for someone who's not necessarily a Republican or a Democrat, but just someone who's going to solve their problems and help their lives be better. And that's my track record, is getting stuff done for Arizona families.
Your race, everybody is looking at this race across the nation. It is one of the most expensive races in Arizona history. You guys combined have raised more than $30 million. Folks are being inundated with ads. We have a few of these ads that we're going to play for you.
What happened to Martha McSally? Some worry she's come unhinged. Her campaign morally bankrupt. She's repeatedly been caught lying.
Kyrsten Sinema led groups that accused U.S. Border Patrol of torture and American troops of terrorism. And when Kyrsten Sinema's with her liberal friends, she attacks you too.
Martha McSally will say anything to get your vote, even lie.
Sinema also volunteered for a group that helped illegals sneaking across the U.S. border. Kyrsten Sinema. Wrong then, wrong now.
So a lot of people would say that this campaign is dirty, and now we have this political tone in the country, some folks linking it to violence. So in such a time as this, why not pull some of those ads where you guys are accusing McSally of being unhinged, morally bankrupt, a liar? Would you pull those ads?
Justin, I actually was watching those ads, and none of those ads were mine. So what's interesting is that there were outside groups that were attacking Martha's record, and there were ads from Martha attacking me personally.
But why not?
But none of my ads.
But why not come out and say, you know what, I don't want to be associated with those whatsoever.
I actually have said that. So as folks will notice, the ads that I'm running here in Arizona are positive ads focused on my record of delivering real results for Arizona families. And the #1 issue I hear from Arizonans everywhere I go across the state is their concerns around health care. Now, none of those ads talked about health care because it's an issue that Martha doesn't want to talk about. Her record unfortunately hurts Arizonans. But I'd encourage folks, when they watch these ads, look for the ads that say paid for by Kyrsten Sinema, because those ads are talking about the issues that matter to Arizona families.
I want to talk about one thing that your opponent did accuse you of, and that is treason. That made national news. She was referencing a 2000 interview with a radio host where he said, if I wanted to go fight the Taliban, it's a personal choice. And you said, fine, I don't care if you want to do that, go ahead. Can you clarify that? What did you mean by that, and is it okay for folks to go join the Taliban?
Well, obviously not. I'd encourage folks to go listen to that interview. The guy who was conducting this interview was an interesting person. He had a real difficult time staying on track with the concept of the interview we were doing. It was an offhand comment designed to get us back to the conversation at hand. But Martha really crossed the line here. She's chosen to run a very negative campaign where her entire campaign is focused on me, with dirty smears and false attacks. On the other hand, my campaign is 100% focused on Arizonans. So when folks hear what I'm talking about in this campaign, it's about the issues that matter to everyday Arizonans. Taking care of their families, making sure they have health care, protecting people with pre-existing health conditions to protect their coverage, and making sure our kids get access to a high-quality public education. That's the clear difference in this campaign.
So we have troops being deployed to the southern border to respond to this caravan that's making their way to the southern border. We're talking about Black Hawk helicopters, thousands of soldiers. They're even talking about 150 miles worth of fencing that's ready to be deployed. Do you support that type of military action going to our border?
I've previously supported sending troops to our border to provide support for the men and women who are protecting our border. So I believe that we need a comprehensive strategy that provides protection for our border. And we do need more boots on the ground, but we also need technology, which is why I've introduced legislation called the USA Act that invests money in things like drones, cameras, night vision cameras and towers to make sure we have situational awareness and control over the border. There are some dangerous people who want to come into our country. These cartels like Sinaloa and MS-13 who smuggle in drugs and smuggle in people and victimize them. We do need to work together to stop that kind of negative and dangerous activity at our border.
Oh, the border wall. You did an interview with us back in April of 2017, and you said building one across Arizona isn't feasible, it's not effective, it doesn't make sense. But then if we go back to last year, there was an AZ Central article that talks about how you did vote for a $1.5 billion bill that did fund part of that border wall.
Right.
And you said that it's part of the solution. So is it part of the solution, or is it something that's not feasible?
So having a physical barrier can be and should be part of a solution for border security. But my point is that it's not enough by itself, because we need to make sure that we've got lots of technology and boots on the ground that help us have situational and operational control over the border, which again is why I support funding for things like drones, for cameras, for grading of roads so we can see into the valleys. We've got to have a comprehensive strategy. And what I don't think works is to have a one-size-fits-all strategy. Just a border wall alone is an 18th century solution to a 21st century problem.
The president, there's a lot of talk about impeachment. So if you were to get into Congress, would you vote to impeach him?
I do not support impeachment. I believe that Arizonans are focused on the issues that matter to them and their families. And as I travel the state and listen to folks, they don't talk to me about that, but they do talk about how they're concerned they won't be able to get health care coverage for their son who has asthma or their mom who has diabetes. So as a United States Senator in Arizona, I'll do exactly what I've been doing in Congress, which is to stay laser focused on the issues that matter to everyday Arizonans.
There were a lot of folks that they kind of raised their eyebrow when you did not endorse the Democratic candidate for governor, David Garcia. Why is that? Why didn't you endorse him?
Well, David and I have some real differences on substantive policy issues, but I do appreciate that he advocates for the issues that he believes in and works hard for them.
Kyrsten Sinema, everyone, I know you have to run.
Literally run.
Yeah, she literally has to run. She said that this is basically the final push. We're a week out.
That's right, and I'd encourage folks to mail in their early ballots by tomorrow. Tomorrow's the deadline to put your early ballot in the mail.
There you go. Kyrsten Sinema. Dan and Kaylee.
All right. Thanks, guys. Hey, right now on ABC15.com, you can see the full unedited interview that we did with Congresswoman Martha McSally earlier in the month. Of course, both want to get their positions out there for the voters then to decide. And as we speak, right now, we are working on posting that full interview that you just saw with Congresswoman Kyrsten Sinema. As soon as we can, we will post that at ABC15.com as well.